What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. Got my buddy Andy here from Raspy Rides. What's up, Andy?
Hello, hello. Thanks for having me.
Shout out to the SoCal crew over there.
Is it cold where you guys are at right now?
Oh, yeah, man. It's like 30 degrees outside, so not
I
exactly
was doing
e-bike
a
weather.
I
All
was
right,
doing a
yeah.
review today, and I was sweating.
You were? I wish I was sweating.
Yeah,
What are you working on?
the Walkie H7 Ultra.
The big battery thing. I saw
Yeah,
that picture. Yeah, I saw a picture of it. You got the blue one. That's nice.
it's pretty cool because I actually. So what's special about it is you can actually plug in like a standard um, a plug into it. Like I brewed my coffee with the battery this morning.
Did you film that?
I did.
Nice. I can't wait to see that. That's cool. All right. Well, we're here today to talk about e-bike food delivery. I've been watching Andy's channel since he started. He started doing DoorDash and Uber Eats and stuff, and I've been doing that as well for a couple of years now. I find it just fun just to ride, get paid to ride e-bikes. That's kind of why I do it. It's a little
Yep.
pocket change, and it's good content too. So that's why I brought Andy on. So, Andy, tell us a bit about your channel and when you started, and give us some background there if you could. Tell the folks where in the country you are. Mm.
I started about maybe a year and a half to 2 years ago, somewhere around there. Yeah, I started mainly with food delivery videos, and I never really thought I was gonna be reviewing e-bikes. I just wanted to film myself, you know, making some money. And I was inspired by a different channel that uses a gas scooter to do deliveries. And then there was another channel where he used e-bikes during like COVID time to do food deliveries, but he just disappeared. So no one at the time, no one else was really making content, and I wanted to fill in that gap because no one was, um, recording themselves.
Yeah, there's a few of us. Like, there's a guy in New Orleans doing it, like the Big Easy Bike Dasher, and there's Eddie Benitez in Chicago. I've seen his channel a little bit. You seen his?
Yeah,
Um, he seems like he does it full time. I don't know. We're at this point. We're both. I do it. Occasionally every now. I'm not doing it now. It's in the winter here, so it's too cold. People don't want their food showing up cold, so I'll wait till the spring. But
hey, the
what?
money might be really good right now because no one wants to be out there.
Yeah, actually, there are. I checked the app. There are bonuses going on in my area, like a dollar fit. Like, I've seen $1.50 extra. Pretty much every shift now. I open it up. I've done a couple just in my car just to keep my points up, but yeah, it definitely seems more bonuses out there. Now you're lucky, man. You got that Prop 22 money out there in California, man. So tell me about that, and how big of a difference does it make when you do a shift or something?
Oh, it adds on quite a bit. It just depends on your strategy, though. If you're hustling and moving really fast, just grab the food and get to the customer as fast as possible, then you could actually get zero Prop 22 money.
Oh,
You know,
really?
yeah, it just
So
depends
it's
on.
it's not guaranteed. I thought it was guaranteed.
It is guaranteed if the base pay doesn't reach a certain amount. So
Ah,
let's
okay.
say my area is about $16 an hour for minimum wage, and they guarantee you 120% of the minimum wage. And I think that's around like 22 bucks an hour around there. So if you're not making $22 an hour of base pay on an active hour, then they're gonna have to fill in that gap for you.
Ah, okay.
But if you're busting through a bunch of orders within 1 hour and the base pay is, let's say, $23, you're gonna get zero Prop 22.
Okay. So when you go out, like how often do you not get the Prop 22? Like, give me what percentage of the time that you might not get it out
Well,
there?
well, my strategy revolves around Prop 22, so I get it all the time.
Hmm.
By the way, I'm just seeing the comment right now. Thanks, Cozy Drone, for using my link. I appreciate that, man. It
There you
helps a
go.
lot. Yeah,
Um,
so pretty much my whole strategy is try to get as much Prop 22 as you can without being late to your drop off. So you do not want to be late. I mean, at the end of the day, you got to keep customers happy. So before the whole Prop 22 strategy, it was all about how fast can I deliver this order so that I can get another order. Now it's changed to I'm going to take my time so that I don't spill a single drop and no food gets messed up and I'm not going to get hurt on this on the route over there because I have gotten hurt before and I've spilt food before and both those situations not fun.
no,
So now when you go at a much slower speed, the customer is happier because the food is still all together. You're not at risk of getting hurt and you're getting paid more. So it's like win win win.
yeah. We got 7 people in the live stream here, and thanks for joining everybody on a Friday night here on Crisscross. Today, I want to kind of talk about e-bike food delivery. Get Andy on here and talk about his strategy as well. Just give you some pointers here. If you're new to doing this, and talk about our experience. I've been doing it for over a year now, so I've learned a lot in that time frame. So has Andy. So we'll talk about the gear and setup we use, the strategy, which talked a little bit about it there, some of the maintenance, Q&A wrap up, and that kind of stuff. So put your questions in the chat there, and we'll keep rolling here. So Andy, on our pre call, you told me that you got hit on your e-bike doing delivery, but tell us that story quick.
I was just on my way dropping off food and then I was in the bike lane and a woman in a Porsche, yeah, Porsche, she turned into the gas station and I guess she must have not seen me. Like she was coming up behind me too. I was just
So like you were going
riding.
like this, and she was coming like this.
Yeah,
And
she just turned right
how
into
fast were
me.
you going?
I was going maybe like 28 miles per hour, 30 maybe. I think
That's
max
pretty fast.
30.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I wasn't like on one of my like I think I was on a modified bike, but I wasn't going fast, because I had a delivery order on me and I'm, trying to take my time for the Prop 22. So she just turned into me and that's it.
What happened? Did she stop and everything?
She was trying to
What
blame
happened to
me.
you? Did you go flying?
I did go flying. I did go flying.
Oh shit.
Thankfully, I
Mm.
had gloves on, and it was in the early morning, so I had a sweater. I was wearing like full pants and everything. Got my helmet on, and I went flying. And then, yeah, I didn't get hurt too badly, just some scrapes and bruises. And she was trying to blame me, but thankfully, I went to the gas station, and they had cameras. So there was a
Yeah.
whole lawsuit and everything.
Really?
She was actually being pretty aggressive and mean in the very beginning. But once she knew that the camera was watching, her whole demeanor changed. And then she tried to pay me off.
No way.
Yeah.
Damn. And when was this? Was this recent?
This was maybe a year ago.
A year ago?
Yeah.
Cool. Wow, that's pretty crazy, man. I've never been hit. I mean, I think I've a couple of only close calls I can think of. Maybe like in a parking lot somewhere, just getting ready to pull out or something, and a car, is pulling in or something like that. But I've never been hit, thank God. So
How
let's keep
many
it that way.
about how many miles do you think you've done worth of deliveries on your bike?
I would say probably between the various bikes, like my Rattan LM Ultra, that was my primary bike last year in 2025. I put over 800 miles on that. But I use other bikes and other videos and stuff like that. So I'm guessing probably around 1,200 ish maybe miles. And when I go
Okay.
out, I stick to one area, like it's within a couple miles of my house. I don't really travel that far. So I got a mall near, like a mile and a half from me, and then another 2 miles down the road. There's some other restaurants and McDonald's, stuff like that. So I pretty much just stick to my own area. I like to keep it that way because I know each store. I know all the restaurants, right? I can just do it faster that way, and I'm just more comfortable in that. I don't want to get taken out to a different area and not know where I'm going, and just I'm unfamiliar with that territory. So I just stay in my area. That's it, man. I'll turn down stuff that I get that's going
Yeah.
to take me out of the area. So I'm very very strict about that. I don't have a lot of time anyway too. So when I do go out, I only go out for like an hour, hour and a half tops. I was doing it mostly at lunch last year. I thought, and then I ended up doing more dinners too in the summer because it's better money overall. Um, so I would go out for like 5 to 6:30 and come back and eat my own dinner. Or I do like 12 to 1 or 12 to 1:30. Those are my typical shifts. I'm only doing like maybe 15 miles on those shifts. I'm doing like 4 or 5 deliveries tops.
Yeah.
When I'm doing a shift, I'm not spending 2 or 3 hours out there. I don't have time for that. But now I can make. Talk about more money here. I can make 20 between $20 and $25 per shift if I get 4 orders. The best I ever got was like $30 in one shift. I had 5 orders, a couple of stacked orders. Um, and in the beginning, I was using DoorDash. Now, out here in the suburbs in Connecticut, it's pretty competitive. So there's a lot of drivers out here. So I couldn't get on DoorDash right away. I got on Uber Eats pretty quickly. You sign up, you choose bike or e-bike or car. You can't mix those, by the way. I tried to add a car too if I wanted to just use a
Yeah.
car one day. You can't do that. At least back then you could. I don't know about now, but
You know,
they only
they
they wanted me to create another account just to add a car. I'm like, I'm not doing that.
yeah, Uber, I think Uber Eats support told me the same exact thing to make a separate account. But at the same time, I've been told that if they catch you with multiple accounts, you'll get deactivated.
Really?
So
Mm.
yeah, so it's kind of like, you know, all the support agents, they don't know everything. They're just, yeah, they don't know everything. And I don't want to
Yeah,
take the
yeah. Those
word.
those agents are horrible, man. Just
They're
dealing,
like
dealing.
from a different part of the world.
So I was out the other day in my car, and did you hear about the Verizon outage?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so it was a Monday? What's today? Today's what, Friday? I think it was Wednesday. So Wednesday, there was a massive Verizon outage that affected a lot of the East Coast. And I was in the middle of my first delivery, and the SOS popped up on my iPhone. The outage was happening. So I'm in the middle of a delivery, and I'm panicking because I knew where I had to go to the restaurant. I got to the restaurant. I was able to click verify delivery, and then I got in my car. I'm like, the navigation's not working because I got no signal. Now, luckily, I had looked up the address while I was waiting for the order at the store. So I pulled up my phone, and somehow the Apple Maps worked. I got to the address, but then when I got to the address, I dropped it off. I couldn't upload the photo. So for the next half hour, I'm driving around trying to get a signal, and I'm on the chat for the agent there, and it took me like 15 minutes, and they finally just can't. They closed the order for me. I told them I delivered it. I didn't have a picture I took. Didn't save on the app. It was a nightmare, man. I gave up after I went back home. That just ruined the whole day for me. But that was a
Hey,
nightmare.
but
Mm,
you know what? If that was in California, you would have gotten paid for every single minute
I
that.
know. That was a nightmare. So that whole shift was a waste, man. It was like an $8 order too, which wasn't too bad. But let's talk about orders. What is your minimum order out there when you're delivering?
I try to aim for the minimum will be at least $2 a mile, but most of the time it's gonna be like 2.5 to three.
Hmm.
But I don't get any crazy orders. A lot of them are gonna be like maybe $5, $6, for 2 miles.
Yeah, yeah, same here.
And then I'll turn that order into like a $8, $9 order with my strategy.
Yep. Yeah, it's out here. And by the way, if you're doing e-bike deliveries or bike deliveries, you only get orders that are within a mile or two. What's the longest you've ever had to deliver? Like 3 miles, maybe on your end. It's probably been like maybe 3.5 is one I had. I remember, but mostly the 1 to 2 miles is the total
I've
mileage usually.
I've gone I've gone pretty far.
Yeah, I mean
um,
you probably have a bigger area to service too, right? So
yeah,
being in SoCal there, but
I've gone I think 15 miles before.
for one order,
Yeah, for one order.
wow.
Yeah, I went pretty far.
That's
And
crazy.
it was like a $30 order. And I knew that I could turn it into more. That's why.
Shout out to Fernando over at Watt Hustle. He joined the chat there. What's up, man?
Hey, Fernando.
Oh yeah, he interviewed both you and me. It's right.
Yeah.
On his show. What's up, man? I saw your I saw your video you did. I'm talking to Fernando here, where he went to Key West and his bike broke down, or they get a flat tire, or whatever. I saw that. Was crazy.
So I'm telling people the best modification you can make is if you put flat out tire sealants in your tires.
Yeah.
It's cheap and it's just gonna save you so much pain.
You ever gotten a
From
flat?
firsthand experience,
Yeah, yeah.
I've had flats where I've had to push my bike, my heavy bike, a couple of miles in the sun during the summertime. It was terrible.
I've never gotten a flat. Knock on wood. So, but I do put a flat out on my tires now, so it's a good thing. Um, let's talk about multi-apping. Do you multi-app? Because I do not anymore. I just use Uber Eats. I'm strictly a one-app guy these days.
No, I use three apps: DoorDash, Grubhub, and Uber Eats.
What's the busiest in your area usually?
DoorDash, probably
Door-
DoorDash.
Yeah,
And then when it comes to shopping orders, it's gonna be Uber Eats. But man, I gotta learn to enjoy shopping orders more. It's just I
yeah,
don't like shopping.
yeah. It's tough. It's tougher to an e-bike because you have to know is it going to fit. I had over the fall. I had to go to Target pick up an inflatable mattress, and it just fit in my bag. I have probably 13 by 17 bag, and it just fit in that thing. It was so heavy, and
I bet you could feel it too when you're
yeah,
riding.
totally, yeah. And I've had to cancel a couple because it had like a thing of pack of water in it, 30 pack of water, which is not going to work. I didn't have a cargo e-bike in that case, but I mainly, again, I used the rattan last year, and it's got a pretty small bag. So this year, I'm switching over to the Testway X7 all-wheel drive they sent me, and they sent me
Okay.
the big grill rack, and I'm going to put a bigger bag back there, so um, I can fit more stuff in there if I do any shopping pays and stuff. Because that's the one problem I had with the rattan was just the size of the order sometimes, and I had to turn down some pizza orders because I can't take pizzas. I had to like twice I had to carry a pizza in my hand and ride a bike, which is not fun.
Yeah.
We got one hand on the brake and I got the pizza in the other hand, so trying to steer that thing is pretty crazy. But yeah,
There was one time where I have a picture too. My biggest orders were probably one was a Christmas tree,
Christmas tree.
and yeah, it was a
Oh,
Christmas
like in
tree
a
in a
box?
box.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I had to use bungee cords to strap it down. Same thing with Chipotle catering I got. It was three of the Chipotle caterings.
Oh,
I used
jeez.
bungee cords. I could feel myself swaying back and forth, and I was going maybe like 10 miles per hour.
Yeah, yeah. I need to get some bungee cords this year too, just for in case of that stuff. I think I saw that video about that Chipotle stuff. But speaking of gear, like, do you use a backpack gear for your stuff, or how do you do it?
I have both. Sometimes, you know, when you use a backpack, the food
Yeah,
will
yeah. What
always
does it?
be more stable.
It
Your
will
body
or it
acts as
won't?
yeah, it
Okay.
will. It will. Your body acts as a natural shock absorber, and even more so if you see the bump coming down the road and you stand up on the pedals, then like the food will be 100% perfect. I've never spilt anything wearing a backpack, but I've spilt a lot of stuff with my delivery bag on the rack. Even with upgraded suspension, I've spilt stuff too. But yeah, I use both. Sometimes I like wearing the backpack. It brings me back to the days of like my beginnings. But if
Yeah,
I
and
know
with a
I'm gonna be
backpack, it doesn't matter what bike you have, really,
yeah, exactly.
which is the benefit of that, right? Um, but I've been I have a whole bunch of different food delivery bags. Electric e-bikes actually has, I think, the best. they offer there's one company that e-bike company that made their own food delivery bags, which was cool. So I got two. I've got two of them. I've got a big one that fits a pizza box and a little bit smaller one, and I've used that at times. I think I'm gonna put it on the test way this year because I have the bigger grill rack they sent me. So I'm gonna try that. But yeah, drinks are the bane of all Uber e-bike deliveries.
Cold
Um,
drinks
I,
are okay. Cold drinks are okay. Hot drinks are bad.
I never get hot drinks. I always get cold drinks. Um, it's always Taco Bell. They always order that Baja Blast, um, and a few other places in my area. But I spilled a few sodas on my way for sure.
Did you have cup holders? And
So yeah, so what I did was I took a little like hand holder that has like you can fit four drinks into it. I put that inside the bag, and I put
okay,
Velcro strips on the side of it so it wouldn't move around.
that hand
That's
holder, is that from Michael's?
no, I don't know. It's just some cheap like it's almost like a canvas type of holder thing with four slots in it for drinks. And I just got some Velcro tape and just put it on the side. So I stuck it to the side, the corner of the rack bag, and that seems to work pretty good. Also, now with the rack bags, they come with that divider.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what I do is I just corner the divider. Like if it's like here's the corner of the box, I'll put the little divider like right here, so it's really tight, and I just shove that one drink down there, and it doesn't move. I'll throw a towel in there too, maybe just to cover it, just in case it spills. But that's what I've been doing lately,
No,
from a cup standpoint.
the best cup holder I've ever used is actually I think it's like a 6 cup plastic thingy with a handle also. I
Yeah.
just cut that part off, but it's from Michael's, and it's technically called an art caddy because I guess
Oh,
people put art supplies in there, and it's really cheap. It's like $3-4, but
yeah,
that is the best cup holder I've ever used, and you can just cut like a cardboard piece to go on top of it. So if you're not using the cup holders, you just put food on top of it and it lays flat. And if you do need to access some cup holders, you just fold it up.
yeah. That's cool. I'll have to check that out. I got a Michaels by me too. I'll have to go check it out. Um, all right, here. Let's see what else is on my list. So when you go out, like, do you go to a certain spot always, or what's your zone strategy there? Like, give me a sense of how
I
you
have a
start.
mall near me. There's this
Do you?
mall near me. There's the food court, and then outside, like right outside the mall, but nearby, you're gonna have some popular chains like Red Robin's, California Pizza Kitchen, El Torito, McDonald's. So it's got. I'm pretty lucky. It's right there. Everything's there.
Yeah. What's the biggest tip you ever got, Andy?
Probably like 90 to $100. It was a catering order. It was a
Oh,
catering order. Yeah,
when did
and
that come out? Which app?
I think that one was Uber Eats, and it took me pretty far too. It took me to. I'm not sure if you're familiar, but it took me to Compton, and yeah, Compton actually has a lot of industrial buildings there and a lot of warehouses, a lot of businesses. I hate
Mm.
going there because the roads getting there are so bumpy. It's terrible.
Oh yeah,
But
I got some bad roads in my neighborhoods too.
actually, for
Yeah.
that order, I switched out. It was from El Torito. I was on my bike and I went over there. They showed me all the food, and I was gonna have some trouble fitting it on my bike, even with bungee cords, 2 bags. It was just a lot. So the food was not ready yet. I rushed home, switched out to my car, and then just delivered it.
What's your what's your have you ever gone past the stats? Like, have you ever gone past 5% cancellations on Uber, or do you trying to
No,
keep the minimum there and keep your what stage are you right now on Uber? Are you platinum or diamond? Or
I'm check right now.
I think I'm diamond. It's diamond and platinum. I don't. Platinum's like 600 points, so I'm never going to get that. But diamond's only like they changed it, so it's only 50 points now, which is nice. As a part timer, I can do a couple of shifts and I can maintain my points each month. Did we lose Andy?
I'm not sure what that
Oh, there
is,
he is.
but the app just says I'm green. I don't know what that is. I think it's different for California or my area.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, mine says Uber Eats Pro, and you got the 50 points for diamond or whatever it is. And if as long as I maintain that every month, I'll get the decent orders. I was saying
Chris,
like
what was,
the platinum ones, it's like 600 points. That's a full time job right there. That's the only way to get that is
uh,
full time. So
Chris, what was your biggest order? Gordon wants to know.
biggest order, money wise, I think the biggest tip I ever got was like 18 bucks. On probably like a $14 order or something. Some guy, and the guy he came out of his apartment, and I handed him the order, and he must have been impressed by the e-bike. That's the thing. Like I occasionally I'll get somebody who that loves that I'm on an e-bike, and I always get a good tip from those guys. So
Yeah.
has it happened to you?
Yeah, a couple times. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The people are impressed by that. So I get a lot of comments on that stuff if they see you on the e-bike. But
It's
yeah, I
just
think
not common for us. I think it's because we're in the suburbs. We're both in the suburbs
yeah, yeah,
because we're not in like New York City where e-bikes are everywhere.
yeah. Those guys are hustlers, man. I don't know if I could do. I think I would hate that having to go into the apartment every time, the building, and deliver that stuff and get in the elevator. And I like to get in and get out. That's why I like the suburbs. 'Cause you can just
Yeah.
drop it off right there. And let's talk about your bike safety too, because in the beginning I locked my bike up at the mall, but I rarely do that now. I'll throw an Uber air tag on there, so I always know where it is. But it's usually in line of sight. I can see the bike almost wherever I am, no matter where I go. So, and being in the suburbs, I'm not really worried about theft. So, um, it's not a big deal to me. But do you always lock your bike up? What's your safety strategy there?
So on my main delivery bike, it's heavily modified and super heavy. And I actually have an alarm
Which bike
system
is
on
that?
there. It is a modified Anioki.
Oh, okay.
And I have a alarm system in there where if the alarm goes off and someone pushes the bike, regen will kick in, so they can't really push the bike away, or they can't, get on it. And the only way to really steal it is if you have like a few guys pick it up, throw it into a truck.
Hmm.
It has to be like a really planned effort. But even then, it's just so awkward, bulky, and heavy. uh, It's not easy to steal, and it looks kind of like a motorcycle at this point.
Yep.
But with my other bikes that are more like I haven't modified at all, if I can't see it and if it's lightweight, I'm gonna lock it up. Um, with like heavier, bulkier bikes, if it's in my um where I can still see it, then I probably won't lock it up. I'll just take the key out because I know that if they try to pedal it, I could probably walk and catch up to them because it's so heavy.
Yeah, I would take my key out when I on the rattan, because that was a simple way to turn it off, stuff like that. With the test way I'll be using, that has NFC keys, so that'll be cool. You can't start the bike without that. Um, But what of the bike besides the Yoki, and oh, shout out to Watt also for the super chat there, man. Appreciate that, Fernando. My first super chat. Um, as I was saying, besides the Yoki, to Andy, what's your favorite bike you've tried doing Uber Eats delivery?
Man, I haven't I haven't done it yet, but I have a strong feeling that I'm gonna really like the H7 Ultra.
Uh,
Uh,
so, what are the specs on that bike, real quick? Tell the audience.
it is a 2,000 watt hub motor, and they say that it peaks at 4,000 watts, but that's probably just what the motor can handle up to. Based off what I saw on the controller, it just peaks a little bit over 2,000 watts, and it has a 55 amp hour battery pack, and it's 48 volts. But it's just it can go up to me fully tucked, can go up to 38 miles per hour. Most of the time 37, which is plenty fast for food deliveries.
Okay. My test way with the all-wheel drive, I can hit 35 on it with the two motors.
Yeah.
And it's got a 60 amp hour. Oh, no, that's not. So a quick note on the test way. So I had a problem with the battery initially. He sent me a new one, but I brought the old one up to my battery guy up in Connecticut. Fernando, you know him, Kevin up there,
Yeah.
Northeast. Shout out to Kevin over at Northeast Battery Systems. He looked at the test way batteries, 55 amp hours, not 60. So throwing it out there for
Oh,
the audience. He checked it. I was really curious what's in there. He said the cells were decent, but the BMS they put on those not that great. So I'm having to replace the BMS on my Testaway batteries just to have a better one on there because I have the rear wheel drive and the all wheel drive, and the rear wheel drive is gonna be kind of my like my uh, my group e-bike ride bike. I really like that bike, and I'm going to use the all-wheel drive to do deliveries with it. So, but those are, I think, the best looking long range bikes on the market. And the walkie, the new walkie there is pretty cool too. I think overall, I like the new designs. The test ways they're just kind of angular and they just look tough and they look pretty tight. You know?
to me, it looks like the old school vintage gas mopeds.
Yeah,
The shape of it. Yeah,
yeah. I like
that's
how just the angles on it. You know, they did a really nice job with just the lines on the bike. The lines line, oh, the rack and the just everything lines up. It's just nice and tight. Um, talk about this more the single more Tesla. Yeah, I got the black one, so it has the different front fork. It's single fork, not the twin fork. The twin fork like the all-wheel drive. They're both the step over version. It goes 32, so it's a little bit less faster than the all-wheel drive. I haven't done the range yet. I got to do that. So I only got it like in the fall, so I didn't have much time to test the range, but it's coming in the spring, Fernando. But I know my Anioki when I had the original AQ 177, I got 100 miles on throttle on that thing, just like they said. So have you tested your Anioki as far as range?
me or
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Fernando.
No, you.
Yeah. Oh man, I did a well, like I said, I think I tested it before I modified it, and when I tested it, my goal was to pin the throttle as often as I can, every single chance I got. So I wasn't babying that bike at all, and I think I had like 15-20% battery life left. I got 80 something miles, which is really good for max speed the whole
Yeah.
time.
So if you like in realistic conditions where you're slowing up sometimes, you would have got 100 easy on that. Yeah, I
Oh,
agree.
I would have gone over 100 if I was
Yeah,
like being gentle sometimes too.
yeah. And I
And
did see one guy a couple years ago. He had the Anioki. And he pedaled it. He got 200 miles on it. So
yeah,
those batteries are awesome, man. I mean, that's a game changer for
you know,
people out there. Man, you can run that thing for 2 days, do three shifts a day, and it still have battery left probably.
I'll tell everyone a little secret. From what I hear, Anioki is coming out with a 72-volt bike.
Oh snap! I
So
saw the
if they
Rage now.
can,
So
they're
I saw Be Cool just
sorry,
announced one too.
yeah. So I was amazed that they created a 60-volt, 80 amp hour version. If they can make a 72-volt, 80 amp hour bike,
That's
that's going to be on
crazy.
another level
That's
because
like
I say this
5,600
because
watt hours. Yeah.
I say this because my modified Anioki has two batteries in parallel and it is 72 volts, 80 amp hours. And the most I've done on that without stopping was, I think it was 118 miles. Because
Wow.
I did a video where I was doing a challenge comparing doing deliveries on e-bike versus a gas scooter. And I needed to like test out my bike and I got 118 miles. So if Anioki can come out with something like that, man, in terms of range, no one can no one can keep up with them.
Which version do you have again? Fernando wants to know.
The AQ 177 Pro Max.
Oh, that one. Okay, gotcha. All right. You ever get caught? Well, it probably doesn't rain much there in California, right? So you ever get caught in the rain doing deliveries?
I have, and not
You have.
on accident. And there's been times where I got caught in a hailstorm.
Oh,
That one hurt because I wear a
yeah.
half-faced helmet. and it was definitely dangerous because I was like keeping my head down, trying to avoid the little pellets of ice. But
I got a
yeah,
Lumos helmet. It's got that face shield that comes down now. I use that a lot when I do deliveries.
yeah, my
Protects me.
face shield comes down like right here,
Mm.
so I could still feel it like
Oh yeah,
just on my neck and my chin.
nice. Let's see here. What else is on my list? Talked about bikes. Talked about accessories. Any other accessories? Obviously. Well, let's talk about what you need to do e-bike delivery, right? So you definitely need a bag, whether it's a rack bag or a backpack. You need some kind of drink holder, right? You need a phone mount. Um, I also use if my bike doesn't have any kind of USB ports for my phone, I will get a battery bank and put it on the front bag up there because sometimes I forget to bring it, or forget to charge my phone, and I'm running low when I'm doing deliveries. So I think that's always important to have some kind of battery backup for your phone and stuff like that because you will run out. It does suck a lot of juice when you have it open all the time. So, anything else come to mind as far as just must-haves, Andy?
You can never forget that towel.
Oh, the
That towel
towel.
is
Yes,
definitely your bag.
that's right. Multiple towels.
Yeah, electric all wheels, probably over 200 pounds.
Okay. What's up, Matty? Matt from Electric Oil. You know Matt, Mister D, Mister Engineer.
I
Likes to
don't think I know
pull apart
Matt.
e-bikes. Yep, yep.
I don't think I know him
He's down in
before.
Florida.
Okay.
I gotta make a map of all the e-bike YouTubers, so we can have like a interactive map line or something like that,
Oh,
so we can all go visit each other, and do a ride with each other. So yeah, if I'm ever out there, I'll come do a delivery shift with you.
sounds good, man. I got plenty of bikes you can
Yeah.
borrow.
By the way, if you're in like, I know one thing I want to do this year is if you're in New York City and you're watching this and you do e-bike deliveries, I want to come down and like shadow you and do a content piece on that. That would be interesting. I think. I don't think I want to deliver, but I'll shadow you and I'll make you famous here on YouTube. So if you are watching this and you want to let me follow along, I'll bring my bike down the train and we'll do that. So hit me up. All right here. Um,
Did I
what?
upgrade my
Okay.
seat? For my main delivery bag, I did switch out a seat. The good thing about the Anioki AQ177 is that it uses a traditional bike saddle.
Yeah.
So it's really cheap and easy to switch out the seats. It's not like a moped style bike where you have to get a custom seat from an upholstery shop.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. Any Yuki? I did a 60 amp hour e-bike challenge video a couple years ago when they first came out with those things. Well, when I saw that bike, I was like, yes, we have finally have a long range e-bike on the market, and they were the first to come out with that. I think.
Do you still
I
have
run.
it?
No, I sold it. I actually sold it. I think you know what? Actually, guy in New York City bought it. A delivery driver, a delivery guy bought it. He actually drove up one night. Took him like 2 hours to get here in traffic with everybody came. We got it. That's right. But yeah, I think when I got the Testway, I sold the Anioki. I like the Testway better. The original one I had. I had the original Testway folding e-bike. That was the 52 volt,
Yeah,
60 amp
yeah,
hour.
that's right.
It didn't need to fold. I don't know why they made a folding e-bike like that, but it was the older design. Once new ones came out, I was like, yeah, I need that new one because that's just an awesome design. Um, all right, here. Let's see here. Hey, you ever have to deal with any ghost kitchens while delivering?
I've done it twice. The first time, man, I was so confused.
Yeah,
Um,
there's one in my area, but I've turned it down. It's because it's too far away. Um,
wait, I'm
but
sorry. What? I'm confusing the term. Ghost kitchen. Is that like
those are those like those Uber Eats kitchens that are just they exist just to do mobile deliveries.
okay?
It's not a brand name or anything. It's just like it's called a ghost kitchen. So it's just a kind of no name kitchen that sells meals to Uber and DoorDash stuff like that.
I
I don't
think
know who owns them, but yeah.
I've uh I've done that a couple of times. I was confusing that with the other one where a restaurant will have like a second name within it. You know what I'm talking
Oh,
about?
okay. Yeah,
I
yeah,
forgot what
yeah.
it's called, but like I think one time I was they called it something else. Denny's has one, but they used a different name. But the location was Denny's, and I was just circling around the longest time. Just
I,
like
I,
how just like how Red Robin's has Beast Burgers.
oh, really? Okay. There was I was living this year. I've been for like a year, and I got an order for this like Turkish place that was like on the main street where I normally ride. I'm like, where the hell is this place? I never knew it existed. Well, it turns out it's behind a gas station in like this little cubby hole of
Yeah,
a wall. There's like three tables in the place, and yeah, it surprised the hell out of me when I first saw it. I was like, okay, where did this thing come from? I've driving by it for a year. I had no idea it was there. But yeah, you never know where these places are. It's pretty crazy. Well, we talked about your nightmare being hit story. Mine probably just the pizza boxes I had to carry. That was a pain. Um, how do you keep your phone e-bike battery alive during a double? Do you ever do like a double shift? Yeah, did you ever do like full days of 10 hours or whatever? What was
I
that like?
would, but I would do from like 8 a.m. to about 2 p.m. And then I would go home for a couple of hours to eat, to charge my phone, and just to kind of rest a little bit. And then I would go out and at like 4:30 until 7 p.m., 7:30 p.m. around there. So yeah, I
Gotcha.
would.
How many
Yeah,
hours total would that be?
it's probably gonna be around 10. But there was a time where I did do a full like 12 hours, and it just kind of sucked. It's
Yeah,
your
it's
butt
too much,
hurts.
man. It's yeah,
Yeah, and then when you have pedals, if you do, because I was doing it full time every single day. Yeah, if you have pedals, people don't think about this, but if you have your feet offset and you don't like make sure to balance it out, you can start getting some muscular imbalances that will like lead to back pain and knee pain.
oh yeah, I've gotten cramps in my lower back and stuff, or even my upper back. Just being hunched over, whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's definitely. I do a lot of stretching. I'm an older guy, but how old are you?
I am 32, but I still feel the pain, what you're
you're
talking about.
you're a young buck, man. You're a young buck. Nice. All right. What are you working on next as far as your e-bike reviews go? What do you got in house?
I just uploaded a little e-moto today, the Hills Mile. That was a funny little bike that makes noises. E-motos are, I get scared to review them, man. I'm thankful the companies will send me them, but I get scared because they're cracking down on e-motos here
Yeah. In
everywhere.
fact, there's a draconian law coming out when in New Jersey. It hasn't passed yet in New Jersey, where they're basically banning all e-bikes. Like you have to have a license, registration, and insurance for everything. But
Yeah,
the governor hasn't signed it yet. But that guy Burn Peak, that channel, he just did a big story on it. He's like saying everybody, get out there. And I've done a couple of videos. Like New Hampshire had one a couple years ago. I put a video out about that. That got squashed, thankfully. And then in Connecticut, they just changed the law. So now, most of my over 750, it's now a motor driven cycle. And you just have to have a driver's license, which is the perfect solution for that type of bike. If it's over 3,700 watts, then you have to have a motorcycle license. So
yeah.
anything really, really fast and powerful. That's the way to do it, I think. Not these draconian laws where they're just banning everything or making you get a license and insurance. That's ridiculous.
So those the laws that you're talking to me about, those are like new laws, but I find it hilarious. Before that, what you just told me, so everyone's always talking about new laws, this, new laws, that, right? But no one ever considers that the actual law has always been there. If it's over 750 watts, it's always been illegal, you know? If it never had pedals before, it's always been illegal. It's only meant for off-road purposes.
Right.
That's what I should say, not illegal, not street legal.
Street
But
legal, yeah.
yeah, those laws have always been there. Anything pushing over 28 miles per hour, off-road only. But now they're just talking about these laws, but it's more the case if they're enforcing them or not.
Exactly. And that's the thing. Like they can't enforce all these e-bikes. There's too many of them on the road. Um, and it's just impossible. So there really has to be common sense here, and
I
you
will
know,
I will say that
I
having
saw some videos like the e-bikes getting the Suront getting confiscated in like SoCal somewhere. Is that still happening today? That was like
yeah,
I don't know 6 months ago. I saw that or something.
that happens in areas that are more like older retired people where they're probably home in their neighborhood
Yeah,
most of the day and they're observing what's going on.
and I think too if those kids are in a group of like 5 or 6 or 7 or 8, like that draws more attention too.
Oh
So
yeah.
just instead of being alone or whatever. So
I will
groups
say
too also are you have to watch out for. But
I will say that having a delivery backpack on you, especially a big one, kind of
mhm.
makes you invisible
Yeah,
because, cops will look at that and they just see someone working trying to make some money,
yep,
not a hooligan causing trouble.
yeah, totally. Yeah, yeah. I passed many a cop on my bike doing deliveries.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm working on what I got a hay bike, new hay bike coming out. I don't think it's called a Venus. I can't show it yet because it's not out yet. Also, Bellatrix has a new bike coming out. Stay tuned for that. That's coming out February 10th. Can't say what that is either. I just got Aventon sending me their Adventure 3 and their Level 3 finally.
That's a big deal
So
that you're working with events and yeah, that's
yeah, it took
huge.
a while, but it took a couple years for them to get my attention with them. But yeah, finally, I was talking to emailing the guy there, Tom, recently, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll send you out a couple bikes here. We'll get you going." But
Let me
those are really,
ask you this.
yeah,
What what are a few bikes that has been like the most fun to test out? Whether you still have them or you don't, what are like the top that have been like the best bikes you not there's no such thing as the best bike, but
yeah. I don't
the
have a
most
best,
fun. The most
yeah.
fun.
Um, there's a lot of fun bikes. I mean, I have a hard time answering this question. Like I've got the new Escape Ranger, the 72 volt. That's a fun bike, and I just got it right before it got cold, so haven't had a ton of time to ride the thing. So I'm really looking forward to this year and getting it out there more. That's my like my Corvette, my cruiser, my Sunday cruiser, man. That's you just hit that
Yeah.
throttle and you just throttle all day long on that thing, right? That's what that bike's for. So I'm gonna take it down to the beach in the summer, and just do those chill rides with that thing and just enjoy the throttle. Um, even stuff like the electric XP Lite is a fun bike. I took that to New York City a few times. I think it depends on the use case, right? So I've got a bike for every occasion, whether it's an e-mountain bike or a lightweight thing or a long range thing or a cargo bike. Um, but right now in my garage, I have, let's see, I've got a Mach Wheel Obsidian, which is their fat tire
Yeah.
EMTV. It's a pretty cool bike. It's got that detachable display on it. It's got the dual suspension, pretty nice. I'm holding on to it to do a head to head between that and the electric XP. So I'm gonna do a video on those two. I've got all the lectures, of course. I've got all their bikes essentially. I've got the Rattan LM. I've got the Escape. I've got two Testways. I've got Pucky Puppy I'm trying to sell. I've got what else I got back there? I have so many I can't remember them all, Andy. Um, that's about it, I think. So, the Velotrix Summit. That's their EMTV. That's a cool bike. So I'm looking forward to this new Velotrick coming out. Um, like, and then the Aventon stuff, I'm really looking forward to those because those are the most technically advanced bikes in the space right now with that ACU, that Aventon control unit. It's got that geofencing in it, the whole
Oh,
track your bike GPS on it. That's a really high tech bike for like 2 grand or whatever it is. And they're one of my top, definitely the top three companies in the e-bike space. Electric, Aventon, and maybe Velotric I would throw up there or something like that, as far as just quality of e-bikes go.
yeah.
Yeah, what are your favorite brands right now? Do you have any good goat bikes and stuff? That was another
Yep.
fun bike too.
I know.
I had the goat. I had the Billy Goat.
I sat on
Um,
my buddy's mini the little what is that one called? The mini goat? The
the mini goat, yeah.
that suspension surprised me. That was really plush. Yeah, that bike was really fun. I didn't really get to rip around on it, but I just sat down on it. I could already tell that bike would be really fun. Goat is getting popular.
Yeah,
It's
man.
it's getting really popular, and it's pretty much like it's based in I think San Diego.
Somewhere over there, yeah. Tyler Trails Rides, he's in Connecticut with me. He just posted a video. He has a mini goat. He had a problem where he was rolling it and the bike was on, but he was rolling it and the display was showing like 20, 30 miles an hour. So he was
Huh.
just rolling it slowly on the floor and the display was so I will say that the goat I had, the Billy goat, this was like 2 years ago. I had a problem with the display where it wouldn't it didn't calculate the battery correctly. So I ran out of juice on a ride. I had to call home and get picked up. Um, it was totally misleading me. And so they sent me like a new cable, a new harness, whatever. I put it on, but it still didn't really fix it. So I ended up selling it. I told the guy, look, and I think he took it home and the next day he put it up for sale. So, um, but hopefully their electronics have gotten better since then. I don't know,
Hey, how
but
do you feel about Magician?
I'm a magician. So my buddy Alex has got one, maximum charge. I did ride it briefly this summer. Um, Pretty nice. I mean, for the money, it doesn't have the greatest shifting on it or stuff like that. So they're saving some money there. But yeah, I mean, it's the new sort of cheap 72-volt fast e-bike out there. So whether or not they last, we'll see, right? All these new companies, it's like,
You wanna
will it last? That's the question.
wanna hear a conspiracy theory about Magician
All
that
right,
I heard from like down a grapevine through a buddy of
is it?
mine called Bob, and Fernando interviewed him too. But what I'm saying here, nothing's been verified. Everyone needs to do their own research, so nothing's 100% sure. But there's a rumor that Magician is actually from the same creator as E Cells,
He sells. Okay, I've heard this one. Yeah.
and apparently there was like they had the same phone number or something for support or something like that. But you know the funniest thing about this is, you know how E Cells disappeared? It's hilarious that they named if it's true, they would name the bike the Magician, because it's like a disappearing act.
Yeah, so my buddies Matt and
Oh,
Scott, they're
okay, they're saying it's
chiming
false.
in. Yeah,
They're,
they're
they're,
saying
they're
it's
saying it's
false. So,
false. Okay.
but it is there is like I can see where the conspiracy could come out of that, but
Yeah.
it is fascinating to talk about that anyway. Just to
I will
speculate
say
on.
that I believe I believe Anioki and Iahora have like the same parent company.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I think I've seen like a business license or something someone posted.
Well, I know
They had-
Hey Bike and Jayzeon. Jayzeon is a sub brand of Hey Bike. Hey Bike told
yeah.
me that. But I didn't hear that about Iahora. I don't like Iahoras. I don't like their bikes at all. Um, I rode one of those on a ride last year, and I just thought it was too heavy, too clunky. I just didn't like the feel of it. I'd rather have an Andioki versus Iahora for sure.
Oh, it's even the Iahora is even bigger than the Anioki, huh?
They are. Yeah, I mean the one I was riding. I don't know if it was the Juliet or the Romeo. One of those. It was one of
I
the big
figured it's
60
pretty
volts,
much. I
68 power.
figured I figured it's pretty much the same thing, just packaged in a different frame.
Yeah, but Andioki was the first to come out with the long range stuff. So I always thought they were kind of unique in that space. But they've had their issues too with some of their bikes, some of the quality. So um,
Hey
Scott
Scott,
says he finally got my Andioki A Pro Max
what
running. Oh yeah, like six
was
years
wrong?
ago.
What
Yeah,
was
yeah.
wrong with
So
the?
there's one example right there.
What was wrong with it?
He's documented that. I think Scott has. But Scott, what was wrong with your bike? I never. The one I had was fine. It worked great. I put a lot of miles on that thing. Um, New throttle, new display, new controller, everything. Yeah,
It's a good amount of stuff.
yeah. It's pretty much everything except the motor, right? So and the battery.
I mean,
Trying to
getting
remember.
getting those items replaced will always be a lot easier than like the battery, the frame, the motor.
Yeah,
The more expensive the part is, the more likely that a company will ghost you.
yeah. Here's one tip I got for e-bike owners out there. If you have a problem with a company, like go on social media and just tag the shit out of them and complain. That's how you get their attention. Because you know a lot, they're all based in China, and their customer service sucks. Like go on Instagram, go on Facebook, tag them, and just start complaining. Go in their Facebook groups if they have one, and just start complaining that like crazy. I think you'll get their attention that way. Send them a DM on Facebook or Instagram, and try it that way. Versus the email channel, that kind of stuff. I believe all Anioki bikes never had a problem. That's Fernando there.
My first Anioki bike, it was the AQ177. Everything was fine on it. It's just the rear rack came like slightly at an angle, just very slight, very slight. It
Yeah,
wasn't a huge deal, I'm not gonna ship a bike back because of that. It's such a pain.
yeah. I had to when I was sending back that AMZ bike. I kind of went on FedEx just to see what it would cost. It was like $600 to ship that thing.
Jeez.
So I don't. They must have a massive discount with FedEx. These companies.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. Because it weighs like 100 something pounds. So
Man, Scott sounds like he just had a terrible time with Anioki.
yeah, I'm trying to think of who I had a real problem with. I mean, I've had a problem with. I'd say like one out of every 5 bikes comes with some kind of issue. I don't know, just roughly speaking. Even like
You know,
Belichick, I had a bad battery once. Um, sometimes a couple controllers are a problem. I've never had a problem with a motor. Those have always been fine, unless it's kind of a noisy motor or something. Actually, no, electric. I had a bad electric motor. It was noisy. They sent me a new one, but a couple of broken displays. What kinds of problems have you seen in your end?
the funny thing is that a company that left a bad taste in my mouth was actually Tesway. The
Oh,
bike itself, I will admit that the design is beautiful, and I never had a problem with the bike. So the bike never had a problem. It's the person I was working with. I had like some commissions from them, and they just never wanted to pay me out.
let's talk about commissions. So I deal with Testway through Instagram right now because that's whoever runs this thing, and that person was to get the bikes I got. Like I had to not sell my soul, but I had to really detail it what I was going to do with the bikes and everything, and because I knew I had the first one, so that got me in. But yeah, he or she is very not demanding, but I don't know, just very purposeful in their what they say to you and stuff. But I just got paid. I had a couple of referrals from Testway in November, December. They paid me at the end of December, just this past few weeks ago. I got a new one in this late December, so I got one coming in January. But yeah, it's the one thing with these companies. Like I just sent a message to APAS. I sent one to Pucky Puppy. I got some referrals from them, and they all take their sweet time
Yep.
giving us their money. So if you're e-bike company watching this, look, if you want us to recommend your bikes more and talk about them more, like pay us on time, please. We're not doing this for our health, right? We're running little businesses here, and yeah, it's been a giant pain to work with a lot of these
They need
these
to make it
one-off
automated.
commission systems.
Yeah, they need to train it automated so
Yeah,
we
I
don't have to
like the
chase
ones that are
after
on
them.
like the companies that are on Impact. Impact pays me monthly, regularly. Whatever this 30 or 60-day window is, according to the company. But Impact has been great to work, and there's a bunch of companies on there. Electric's on there. Hey Bike is on there, and a lot of them also use Avalink and Impact and other stuff too. GoPro, Go Af Pro, whatever it is. But the ones that are on Impact, I get my check or my deposit every month regularly. So they've been pretty good to work with as a company, affiliate company. So if you're an e-bike company, like go on Impact. That's a better way to do it, I think, versus this one-off stuff where you have to manage it on your own, and you lose all of us as far as just getting this paid on time.
Man, if I ever review another Tesway bike, it's sometimes it's hard to like because the bike will be good, but sometimes the company itself, who knows, right? It's
Yeah,
they're all from China. It's just
yeah.
it's a
Well,
toss up.
hit me up too if I know somebody there. I can put in the word for you too. So, and there's a couple of group texts that we're on with some other YouTubers and stuff. Are you on that Instagram one?
No, I'm not.
There's a. I'll see if I can get you on there. I think Alex started it from Maximum Charge. Um, but anyway, all right. Let's start to wrap this up, man. It's 9 o'clock. It's Friday night. What are you doing tonight, Andy? Going out?
I have a trip this weekend, so I got to get ready for that. I'm going to a place called Idlewild. It's
You
pretty
gonna
much like
ride
a
or?
no, I'm not gonna ride there. It's just Airbnb trip with some friends. It's almost
Okay.
like a smaller version of Big Bear type of thing.
Nice, nice.
Man,
All right.
I guess people just love Fernando, huh?
Yeah, I gotta get down there and ride everything. He's got everything down there. He's got all the
Yeah.
cool bikes too.
Yeah,
All right, man.
before you end this, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
When you first started riding e-bikes, that passion and fun you had with it, do you still have it today?
Yeah. So it's diminished a little bit, because it's more of a job now. But I'd rather be e-biking than doing anything else. That's for sure. Even
Yeah.
if you know, you know, I have a job I do regular, full time, but I'm always thinking about e-bikes, man. It's always on my mind. And again, I'd rather be riding than sitting at my desk here doing writing some white paper or something like that. So from that perspective, yeah, it's e-bikes all the way, man. E-bike life, man. E-bike
That's an
life.
awesome sweater.
If anyone wants to buy one of these, let me know. I'll sell them to you. About $40. But
Sweet.
yeah, man. Fernando, thanks for another super chat there. Appreciate it. Well, Andy, man, it's been great catching up with you. It's good to meet you
Likewise. Thanks for having me on.
virtually, and stay safe out there. Don't get hit by Porsches anymore. Scott
I'll
wrote
try
today
not
in
to.
36 degrees. Yeah, I'm going out tomorrow, Scott. It's going to be about 35, 36 here. I got to get out there. It was like 25 today, so it was a warm day in Chicago. He said, yeah. So yeah, I got my layer up tomorrow and just get out on the button. Get out something and just move my legs, man. I got to unpack that Bella trick, I think, and get that ready. That review's coming up, but all right, man. So, what did you say next is coming up on your channel, Andy?
I have a review next week that's coming up. It's the Walkie H7 Ultra. Stay tuned, guys. I used
Nice.
the battery pack to brew my coffee this morning.
That's right. We're gonna watch that. So, all right, man. Well, Andy,
Nice.
appreciate it, and thanks for coming on tonight, and everybody in the chat there. Thanks for hanging out, Fernando. Appreciate the dollars, and Scott, Matt, everybody else there in the chat. Good to see you guys. We
Have a good
out.
one, guys. Bye.
Yeah, I forgot how to end this thing. All right, hit the X.